not max invested either. A lot of room for improvements.
So I was watching Volkin's video on Terrormaton Inferno free-to-play farming team, and I want to build this team but proper 6-star with gear you can farm from Doki Doki Hell 4 and also Inferno Nico Nana, but with a small upgrade, which is to include Holden as the SSR. But the team will require a lot of investment. Unfortunately, it's not going to be like, hey guys, no skill off, free-to-play character, it's going to be super amazing. I can assure you that, no. This requires proper investment, proper speed tuning, proper shell that is maxed out. It's not going to be like a walk in the park, because the game is designed in a way that if you have the right character, you're gonna have an amazing TAM. So most of the recent clear that you see will have the LDSSR. That's gonna make life so much better. And in the best clear TAM, you can see that, oh, Sean, I think you can do that with double DPS, but the double DPS looking really scary. So you gotta farm with like a slower-ish team. For me personally, I have to do that as well to achieve the double DPS one-shot team. And I don't even have Bajontin. I don't even know if I can do it with like a Freya buff, for example. But I think this team is going to be more achievable, and with the gear you can farm slowly from Doki Doki Hell 4 as well as Nico Nana Inferno. That is my assumption. Now, let's go to the team part. First, I'm going to replace one of the strips that Volkin used on manual gameplay, because the game doesn't allow you to set these SR character like Kazami Kazuyo or Turandot to strip in the first turn with their skill 2. Unfortunately, that is just not going to happen for now. If they do that in the future, that's going to be amazing. But I'm going to use an SSR strip so that he will use it in the first turn all the time, and that's going to be Holden. He's the best in slot for this job right now, unless you have Hendrik. But I'm going to assume that you don't have Hendrik, okay? You may have Holden, and if you're one of those Giga Chat that have enough gear to use Viper and not get one shot immediately, then you can do that as well. Or you can also have Veronica to do the skill 3 to strip the boss immunity. So either you own Veronica or Holden to get the turn 1 AI friendly, auto run friendly kind of strip. Holden is going to be on a very fast set for a particular purpose. If you're slow, you might get one shot. So farming a good shell in Nico Nana Inferno is going to be very, very important. So we have a crazy shell right here that you can farm in Nico Nana Inferno. I also have to go through thousands and thousands of stamina to get a couple decent gigabyte. You can probably lower the crit a little bit because Holden has elemental advantage against this guy, but high crit, high accuracy, because if you crit with the skill 3, you're more likely to land your strip and your attack down. So that is the build for Holden. Swift, Time Weave for some extra accuracy, and a random piece with good speed substat so that he can move in front of the boss. Second is going to be Catchy the Goat. So I 6-star Catchy the Goat because he's very squishy, and you have to build him with a decent amount of accuracy, or else he will not buff his skill 3 with 2-turn immunity and defense buff all the time. So he's on a Swift, Time Weave as well. I cannot activate the third one because I haven't farmed Inferno Terrormaton yet, for example. So we have Swift Rush, Time Weave you can farm from Hellfall Doki Doki, and they are all triple bonus pieces, which will take you a while to farm. So it's just gonna take a while. Like, that's just how the game is. Like, the game wants you to take a whole lot of fucking time, like a full-time job to play this game. So you farm a decent amount of gear for your Kachi the God, and he's gonna have good accuracy. He's gonna survive. He have very good speed. I 6-star him. I also maxed out a skill 1 to get more speed because I want to be competitive in PvP with this guy. He can go first, buff defense and immunity, and the enemy CC unit is gonna be in shambles. But if you're not very competitive in PvP, I think this is a very good speed to go for, around 265 speed, because this allow me to go in front of the boss. So you can see right here, this guy is plus 280 speed, but this is a bit overkill. You can reduce 20 speed on Holden and somewhere around Catchy the Goat speed. I think that's going to be amazing. Third is going to be Fangus. Fangus is going to be the main damage dealer for the dungeon, and Fangus is on Artisan. And I think Artisan is going to be so important. If I can put other character on Artisan, I'll do that as well, but I assume you don't all have Artisan, okay? So you have one good Artisan. You might even have an Inferno level Artisan, and you want to get a Swift Rush Time Weave once again for lower cooldown for the skill 3 to put dot on. If you don't have Time Weave, your run is going to be longer because your cooldown is going to be longer. But because I have Time Weave, the run can go down to like 2 minutes 30 seconds, which is going to be amazing. So max skill all 3, one of the best character in max skill, not max dupe for some reason. Like, this guy just avoid the living shit out of me. but I want to have 180 to 200 accuracy, very important, and as tanky as you can. Ignore attack, ignore critical damage. You want him to be as tanky as possible and as high accuracy as you can, because the main damage is going to come from dot. My fourth is going to be the healer slot, which is going to be Valerian. I think Valerian can be on Artisan, Gigabyte, or Alicorn. They are all going to be very, very good. There's nothing wrong with going with any one of them. I think Artisan is actually really good. So I do have Artisan on other character like Shadow Sania, which I also use, but I want to use something that is not even level up properly. And I'm only using it for the Wellspring and Strive. So when she get damage, she get a bit of turn meter, and she get a bit more HP. I 6-star her as well because she is a very, very versatile support character that I'm going to use all over the place. I want a bit more HP. And lastly, we have 5-star Kazami Kazuyo. She's going to be here to provide the AoE speed buff as well as the cooldown reduction. The most optimal shell for her, in my opinion, is not in Nikonata Inferno, unfortunately. She won the Sharon shell, the Halloween, that has Tam Weave and Swift Rush, which I don't have. So this team can be even better if she can be on that particular shell with that particular set bonuses. And she will be the slowest in the team because you want everybody to move, and then she used the skill to reduce the cooldown. The good thing about using her in the team is that Valerian skill 3, when get popped, is going to have a very big window in between. But if your Kazuyo Kazami can keep moving and reducing cooldown, your Valerian can pop the skill 3 back to back to back without using any cooldown reduction in her build or in her shell. It's very good that way. Anyway, let's go for a run. I'm going to turn off auto here because I want to demonstrate why the team is very, very good. So I'm going to do exactly what the team would do in auto. So this guy would skill 3 right here, and he's going to put attack down on the boss. So a lot of people will go to in this content, and they would be a little bit more beginner-ish, and they think they can beat Inferno Terrormaton like a walk in the park. Unfortunately, the game doesn't design for you to do so. So you gotta go farm somewhere else. So when you have achieved the speed that you move in front of the boss right here, you will not take the hit from the boss immediately after the defense broken. I think that's one of the most annoying thing in this game, which is to get hit by this fucking boss when you have defense down. So with this, you now have defense buff and attack down the boss. And look at how much he's still gonna hit my Kazami, right? Very low health for her. And then we're gonna start doing the thing. I'm gonna hit auto now. So I think achieving 260 speed is going to be one of the key unplug for you in this content. And that's going to allow you to apply debuff on the boss. And you can see right there, my Holden just pushed back the boss turn meter, and my Kachi the God just did the same thing as well. Because they had Gigabyte to cut in between the fucking right hand turn meter boost. If I didn't have Gigabyte to cut in between the right hand turn meter boost, then the boss would potentially hit my team again potentially without Valerian protection. So having some speed in Valerian, having Gigabyte on your 2 character right here, which is Kachi the God and Holden, allow me to push back the boss turn meter, allow me to survive better. And after you have set up your entire survivability package, which is the immunity, the defense buff, the shield, you will be very, very safe. And all that's left is going to be putting dot on the boss and start hurting him with Fangers. The good thing about Holden is you have defense buff on this team almost all the time with Valerian and with Kachi the God. So if your Fangers, if your Holden is well built over time, he can start doing his own damage as well. You can see right there, he's doing about 10,000, almost 10,000 with skill 2, and maybe 6,000 with skill 1. And they nerf this boss total health. So that small bit of damage that Holden is doing will add up and actually become meaningful. And because you have Kazami to potentially do a secondary strip on the boss defense buff, that's going to allow Holden to do even more damage as well. So even though we don't really have like a dedicated healer, the Valerian shield, the small healing over time that she can do, and the fact that we have attacked down the boss all the time is helping us survive really, really well. So the run is not like fancy. It's not like very fast. Not like, whoa, we go in with like crazy damage build and we cook the boss immediately. Unfortunately, this is one way you can do it with 1 SSR and 4 SR. And I personally use these 4 SR in so many parts of the game that my investment in them is very worth it. This is not the case where build this niche HR unit that is gonna, holy, what the fuck is that drop? Flat defense. So these characters are just really, really good for what they do. And I'll be using them across all different kind of content. And Valerian, you can use everywhere, PvP, PvE, everywhere you can use Valerian. And I think that is not an issue. So investing SR Latisse in her, amazing. Catchy the God, you'll be using everywhere as well. I can assure you, you will love Catchy the God. So building this character, 4 Latisse in his skill 3, very worth it. Now, the question for many people is Fangus and Kazami. I must say, in a long fight where you can reduce your team cooldown consistently, Kazami is low-key better than Lily. And I'm not joking. Kazami is low-key better than Lily because over a long period of time, the actual amount of cooldown reducing that she's doing for your bruiser-ish team like this is invaluable in my eye. Lily would allow you to one-shot very quickly, but in a long duration, maybe not. You can still not use Kazami in here if you have Lily, right? If you own a Lily and your team is not that strong yet, you can't one-shot with Ditting or whatever, you need the Fury Edge for Ditting. Then you can replace Kazami with Lily. And then Lily is going to allow Fangus to maybe back-to-back skill 3. And Lily is going to team up with Fangus for skill 1 activation. And that's going to allow you to put more dot on the boss way quicker. And the quicker you do these, the better it is. Because the longer you stay here, the stronger the boss become. And the more RNG can really hurt you, right? So if you own a Lily, you can replace Kazami with Lily. And I think that's going to be perfectly fine as well. And lastly, Fangus, I think is just very, very important because he allows you to be tanky and do very consistent damage on the boss. He also slowed the 2-side thing down so that they don't hurt you and they don't buff the boss too often. They will do it eventually, as you can see right here, but because of Fangus' slow debuff, it's going to help. And Fangus is so good in Nico Nana Inferno. Fangus is also so good in Shadow Flame Hoyen. And Fangus is very good in Ember Track, the stages that you just can't kill them with normal damage. So building a dot team or just building Fangus alone is probably one of the best investment that I've done in my account. Even though I maxed out all 3 skill, I think it is very, very worth it because you're going to keep reusing this character in so many different places that you will love it. Like, you will have to love it pretty much. Unfortunately, there's some content that is just very hard to like burst down with like Knitting or Rosa or Messiah, my actual damage dealer. But with Fangus, not a problem. I can start slowly burning them with Dawn, and because they're so slow with the slow debuff and we have speed buff here, we are just moving very, very often and we can potentially survive. Okay, can I survive that? Oh, we have invincibility, so we're gonna be just fine. So as you can see right here, I think this one is a bit more shaky. How big is that shield? I'm having a 20. That shield is crazy. So I think this one was a little bit shaky. I think even with 6-star, the team might not be 100% win rate. Unfortunately, it is what it is with these kind of freaking boss that can defense break, one shot you, cleanse the debuff, do insane damage. Like, there's just so many factors to look into. But I think overall, you can still get your hands on the most important thing to get your hands on in this content is going to be getting your hands on the Fury Edge set. Because with Fury Edge, it will make your damage dealer become so much better. But then what is the premium version of this team? So if you just replace one character with Shadow Sania, you're going to have a very, very good team that is going to end very fast because of the Shadow Sania dot. So I have Shadow Sania on a Bramble Swift set on Codex of Magic so that she can use her skill 2 twice in a row. And I'm going to show you guys what happened in here. So the same thing is going to happen, but now the dot is going to happen way faster because Shadow Sania is just that good. If you can actually turn off Shadow Sania skill 3, the run is going to be like even crazier because now she spams skill 1 and it's going to be so good. And if she happens to Bramble in the very first turn, then you get like an insane amount of dot pretty much immediately. But it doesn't happen very often, but it does, then it's going to be great. Oh, we actually missed the pushback right there. We did not miss the next one, but I think we're still going to be okay because Fangus is going to be able to do the skill 3 again, and we haven't Bramble a single time yet, which is kind of a problem here. Even though landing a decent amount of dot, if we just land one Bramble, that's going to be crazy. If there's a character that buff counter attack, I think that's going to be insane for these kind of teams. That's going to make it even stronger. So there are other games where it's going to be the same with this character that will buff counter attack on everyone on the team, and that's going to allow the Shadow Sania to just like revenge or counter with dot all the time. So if she land the skill 1 or skill 2 right there, or just skill 1, I think the run will be like so much safer. But because she detonate, then she missed the chance to land like 4 dots on the boss with like a skill 1, and that will make the run so much safer. But I think overall, it's still gonna be okay. Do I really farm Terramaton that much though? Not a whole lot anymore, but I really have to. If I really want a better Fury Edge for my editing, I really have to farm Terramaton. But it's just so hard to farm like everything at the same time. So this is gonna be a premium version with Dow Lily that you can try for yourself, and I think that's gonna work out really well. And the investment is not like too crazy.